professional at it.
Okay. So, hey guys, I got Danny here from Husky Light. I discovered her YouTube channel several months ago. She became one of my favorite tarot readers. And I noticed she was also a twin flame and a starseed. So I recently connected with her, and we've had some good conversations, and thought we would just kind of have continue that conversation here and share it with you all. So
Yeah.
hi Danny, how's it going?
Hiya. Hi. Doing really well. Doing really well. We thought we'd get on and sort of chew the fat live. Get it recorded, get it down. Yeah. So yeah, really good meeting you. Getting to know you. Seeing some of your videos out there and your synchronicities and the things that you've been through as a twin flame as well. And let's go for it.
Good times, yeah. So I guess you know, this is kind of interviewee, but we can kind of interview each other and just shoot the shit, as they say. Have a chin wag, as they say.
Chin wag.
Yeah. Where are you originally from in England again? I forget.
Oh, I born and grew up in Manchester. Spent the last 12 years in Leeds in Yorkshire. Nice. And then obviously I've been out in Toronto for since the 30th of August, since I flew out here to be with my twins. So
nice. Yeah. That's dedication there.
That took some working towards. I had to take a break from YouTube actually while we were sorting through all that and getting together.
Yeah, I mean, that's good though. Sometimes social media in general can be pretty consuming, YouTube included, you know.
Yeah.
All kinds of good information and everything, you know, even though it's not as, I don't know, polluted as Facebook, you know. Yeah. There's great documentaries and everything, but you can just spend a lifetime watching that and readings after readings sometimes.
You can get caught up in just watching loads of readings, trying to get hold of that little nugget of information of oh, this is going to be a brilliant month and this is going to happen and I'm going to meet my twin flame this month and things like that. And you can go through information. We were saying this before about, you know, when's the event coming? When's the financial crash going to happen? When is the world going to fall apart? When is
every year? Every year it's going to fall apart.
Every year it's going to fall apart. Every year it's going to, something major is going to happen. There's going to be arrests and there's going to be, everything's going to happen in divine timing. And I think everybody who's going through the awakening process has to go through a certain amount of time researching and looking at things. They do it for their soul. They do it for their own evolution. But I think there comes a point where you just have to put it aside and think, it's going to happen. Whenever it happens, it's going to happen. We can't prepare for it. We can't. We just have to, you know, and
exactly
spend our lives on more important things other than being stuck to, obviously, apart from when they're watching our videos.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, even if you knew the minute that this event is going to happen, and it's like, what are you going to do?
What would you do?
You can't change it. You can't start it. You can't finish it. You can't, you know,
prepare.
No matter how many videos you watch or talk about, it doesn't matter. You know, it's just like keep living your life, and you know. But so yeah, that's awesome. You traveled all the way to be with your twin.
Yes, I'm here. I've got to apply for residency now. My daughter is here. My little dog's here. But we've been to Tim Hortons and had donuts about 3 times now since I've been here, which apparently is on the residency application. Once I've eaten donuts, it goes towards getting the residency.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, apparently so.
So that's your favorite new place, Tim Hortons?
That's my favorite new place. That's my excuse for donuts and having a double chin. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Why don't you tell us about so many topics to talk about. Tell us a little bit about, okay, you're a Starseed. Tell me about that. Like when did this all start? Experiences and like what did you go through? What did you see? What did how did you know this?
It was an innate knowing. It was a download, several downloads, lots of downloads that I went through to actually come to that conclusion and that knowing of being a starseed. I was very much my guides, higher self, twin, etc., council of five, who I'm in touch with, very much had to hold my hand and lead me through this process, which from the beginning of me awakening, it's probably about 4 years ago. To be honest, I've been through so many experiences and synchronicities, etc. It would be here all day.
Yeah.
But I went through the initial awakening. Let's say I went through the initial awakening, realized that I was in touch with guides and angels, and I'm like, whoa, this is pretty freaky. I'm getting all this information down, these downloads, this knowing. I've got psychic abilities growing. I'm speaking to dead people. I'm seeing things that I shouldn't have never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
I went through all of that, which was crazy enough. And then about 2 years ago, I had a visitation from an ET, from a little grey,
I
in
know
my
all
room.
about those.
Yes, yeah.
When was that? How long ago was that?
That was about 2.5 years ago. So it was almost like I'd gone through the initial awakening, and I thought I knew everything there was to know. I thought, hey, okay, I'm awake. This is good.
Exactly.
And then you have the, but no, then you have a cosmic awakening.
My work is done now. I'm
yes,
awake.
my work is done. It's all done. I know everything. Then you have a cosmic awakening where you learn, you're going to higher and higher levels and higher vibrations.
Yeah.
And then just realizing how vast the universe is and what you're really in touch with, and the beings and the extra dimensional beings that are also helping you along this journey as well. And yeah, that's quite a shock. That can be quite a shock for some people when they go through that. So it's like there's never just one major awakening. It's like a series of awakenings that you go through, either within a few months or a few years or whatever you're destined and have decided to go through and be put through.
Yeah, the ascension process seems to come in waves, doesn't it? You almost have like sometimes multiple dark nights of the soul, and then you like level up even more, and then everything's great for a while, and then shit hits the fan again, and you come out.
Yeah, you think
a
you
phoenix.
think Night of the Dark Soul is just like once, and you can get over it, and you can. But no, unfortunately, it's.
I wish it was only one night though. One dark night and then it's over. It's more like dark month.
One dark night and you wake up in the morning and it's all good.
Phew.
Yeah, you got through it.
Yeah. Not so much. So that gray experience though, was that positive or negative? Were you scared? Was he, how did you feel during that? Because I know mine as a child, I was scared shitless about.
I had one as a child as well. I'll tell you actually about the childhood one. I must have been probably about 5 years old, and I was lying in my bed one night, and I had a big window in front of me in the bedroom. Curtains were closed, but I could sort of see the shadows outside. There was a little bit of light emanating from outside, and this grey walked past my window, sort of bobbed along past my window, but my curtains were closed, and I could sort of see him from here up. And I always remember this shadow going past. Now, for years and years and years, until about 2.5 years ago, I called it the I called it the man with the brain outside his head, because he had a really big head. The shadow had a really big head and a long neck. And then about 2.5 years ago, I went, oh my God, that was a grey. That was a grey when I was about 5 years old. So I've been visited since I was a child,
Right.
without really realizing it.
Did you have sleep paralysis much as a child? Anything like that? Any dreams?
No, but I do remember seeing lights in the sky when I was a child. I remember having a lot of I see dead people when I was a child, which I sort of blocked off and eventually sort of grew out of it, because you get to a certain point in your childhood when you've got parents and relatives going, that's not right, you shouldn't be doing that, that's all in your imagination, that sort of thing, which will close you down, which is why I say never close a child's imagination down. Never do that, because they will shut down. But I did shut down eventually from it, but I had a lot of experiences when I was younger. Also, about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I had what you could describe as a psychic pregnancy as well, where I went through all the symptoms of being pregnant, throwing up, eating more, even my belly swelling and things like that. But there was no actual, went to the doctors I don't know how many times, was absolutely convinced. They took blood tests, and actually my white blood cell count was higher, which can occur in pregnant women. So it was higher, but whenever they took me for a scan, they couldn't see anything at all. And then at about 3.5 months, yeah, it's hybrid child. And at about 3.5 months, I woke up one morning, not feeling pregnant at all anymore. But I had bruises, and I actually felt like I'd given birth. And since then, I've actually contacted my hybrid child. She's been in touch a couple of times. Her name's Amber. And she's been in touch a couple of times through dreams and meditations since then. So a lot of this alien abduction and things like that is all towards the hybrid program as well, which is basically us helping another race carry on with their race, because they're unable to actually give birth themselves anymore. They've got to that point in their evolution.
The Zetas, the Zeta Reticulans.
Zetas, yeah, they
AKA Greys.
Yeah. But when we think of Greys, there's bad Greys, there's good Greys, there's the programmed little Greys, which are basically just working on orders and
they're like androids
that work for the Pleiadians and that. But then you've got taller ones, which the white, from the information that I've sort of got in the past, they could be Pleiadians as well. They're just shifting form with that.
Or there's different races within that star system. I mean, the Pleiades, they say 7 sisters, but there's hundreds of stars in there. Therefore, multiple planets, multiple races. I mean, here on Earth, we have multiple races.
Yeah.
We're human,
and
but we have different colors.
We can never turn around and say, well, this particular race is bad, or people from this particular country are bad. Every race has good and bad within them. So how can we do that about our outside star systems? We can't tar everyone with the same brush. So
a lot of people listening to this probably think we're out of our minds. We are kind of,
that. I got used to that a long time ago.
Yeah.
You're crazy. Fine. If I'm crazy, then I'm happy with being crazy.
Having a good time in the meantime, yeah. So what about like Starseed, like activations though? What did you notice, with your abilities? Obviously something triggered, and then you started reading cards, kind of like myself. I just started reading cards one day, and there I am doing it professionally, and it's like, whoa.
I was actually right at the beginning. I was told to go on YouTube I was told to read cards. I'd read cards on and off throughout my life before, didn't have had an affinity with them, but didn't take it seriously. And then when I started going through the awakening process, I'm sort of sat there going, what the hell am I? I've just lost my business. I had my own wedding cake business, was getting quite successful with that. That all fell apart. And I sat there going, what the hell am I supposed to do now? I was like, get on YouTube. Really? You want me to go on YouTube, make a complete fool of myself?
Oh, I know. I know the feeling.
Tell everybody how crazy I am.
Yeah.
But they were like, no, if you go on YouTube, then you are going to help other people who are going to go through the same awakening process, the same thought patterning, the same heart chakra opening, all the rest of it, spontaneous kundalini. They're going to go through that, and you, with your words, are going to be able to help them in one way or another.
Guide them a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and try and guide them, and that was part of my mission, and that was also what I needed to go through to meet my twin and be with my twin as well. But I didn't realize that at the time. So I've spent from then till now, and probably years to come, on YouTube, helping and guiding.
I love how you read, by the way. You can have 3 cards out and you think you have double Celtic cross out or something. All the information you pull out of just, I really admire that. Very good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I just
channeling a lot.
Just whatever comes down, comes out of my mouth. It's sort of having to step aside of myself, getting out of my own way, and just allowing whatever information to come through. But that's one of the empathy, psychic abilities, clairsentience,
right,
clairaudience as well. I have some of the gifts that came through along with the awakening. So, which everybody is psychic, everybody has these gifts. It's just developing them and coming to realize that you do have them as well. And the Kundalini experience in the awakening, it can, Buddhas can spend years meditating to get to that place, or we can go through it spontaneously, which a lot of us are doing because of the earth changes that we're going through. Because we're going into this ascension process, people are naturally starting to awaken, and it can be set off by, a near-death experience. It can be set off by some sort of mad trauma that people have gone to. It can be set off. I was actually reading this the other day. It could actually be set off by if you have a fan on every night in your room. The vibration
which I do,
and the frequency of that fan, if it's at the
that
right
white noise,
that white noise, you are subconsciously waking yourself up without realizing it. You could be driving distances in a car, and the hum of the car, the vibration of the engine, that can set you off as well. There's all sorts of, but we're doing this on a subconscious level, not on a conscious level.
Right. And the frequencies, that's why I'm like into the frequencies that I'm, producing music and going from like club music to healing and triggering psychic abilities and sleeping and all that. I noticed that it's very powerful working with those frequencies and sound. And from my understanding, the multidimensionals and ETs, they did the same thing. And supposedly that's how the pyramids were built, with acoustic,
with sounds
levitation.
And acoustics. Have you looked into the hemisync?
Oh yeah. Some of the stuff I'm working on is very, very similar to that, actually.
Yeah.
Might have something in a couple of days.
Oh, that'd be great.
Hoping to get more of that out soon. I'm still buried with readings, and I love doing them, but I'm ready for a little more energy into the healing and the sound stuff.
Yeah, that music that you just put out a couple of days ago was brilliant. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. That's old, actually. That was like 2006 or 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people liked that. It was God, in the MySpace days, and my page ended up with like 45,000 followers and friends on there, and then
So
Facebook took over, and so
yeah,
everything's for a reason and the right timing. And
yeah,
yep.
fantastic gift that you've got. But yeah, one of the things I find with meditation and everything, and with this ascension process, is to join up the right hand side and the left hand side of your brain. Try and get rid of, quieten down the left hand side at least, and be open and become more open
Right.
to new belief systems and new information that's coming through, instead of having to process everything all the time. Like I say, stepping out your own way to allow information to come through.
Yeah, and the binaural frequencies are what help
Yeah,
to balance the two hemispheres of the brain.
yeah, yeah. I very much, when I was waking up, without knowing it, I would put on rain meditations.
I love those. Yeah,
Um, yeah, just torrential rain, and just listen to it all night.
and
Not
thunder.
realizing, yeah, not realizing what it was actually doing on a frequency level
Hmm.
um, to my brain, how it was connecting neurons, how it was connecting new pathways,
Hmm.
and how it was raising my frequency and vibration to go through the ascension process. Yeah.
Yeah, and when your frequency and your vibration rather is higher, you're able to connect with your higher self.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
The more you do that, the more you're connecting with your guides, your angels, your higher self, etc., your twin,
Hmm.
whoever, ancestors. You connecting into, you can connect into the collective consciousness. Eventually we can go above that as well. But you can literally, once you can tap into that resource, you can literally get any information that you want from that.
Including the Akashic records and
Yeah, you can go into the Akashic record, you can find out about your past lives, you can find out um,
the
what your mission
future.
is here,
Yeah.
etc. Even simple things. I always say, I've got videos out about, ask your guides and angels all the time. They're omnipresent. They're not going to disappear from you. They're not too busy to answer you, things like that. But even 3D questions, how do you fix the washing machine if it's broken? Put it
YouTube.
out. YouTube, yeah. But put
Get on
that,
there.
put the question out there to your guides and angels, and they will lead you to the answer.
Yep.
You'll have that down, or that, oh, that's how I do it. Or you'll be led to a YouTube video, or you'll be led to overhearing a conversation about somebody's just fixed theirs, or
Yep.
but you can literally just ask them anything, anything. And it's getting into that habit of having that continual communication with them.
And you almost have to, at least in my experience, you have to like surrender yourself to the flow of nature and the universe
Yeah,
to get
once
in
you,
that kind of rhythm,
yeah,
and the synchronicities will ramp up, and
yes,
then everything like is perfect
yeah,
almost.
yeah. Once you're in that earth flow, that those synchronicities, everything just flows. And once you put a question out there, forget about it.
Hmm.
Don't try and
You know what
control the
else?
outcome. Surrender, like you say.
Yep. And keep the vibration high. And something
Yeah,
I've noticed, I've noticed this a long time ago. I just didn't look at it in this perspective, but when you're not getting enough sleep, or you're not eating right, your frequency and your vibration is just low, and then
yeah,
you can't really tell your intuition from fears. And then when you're like overtired, at least when I am, and I know probably every human, you tend to
yeah,
worry more, you're more pessimistic. That's why like you wake up and you're bitchy if you didn't get enough sleep
yeah,
too. But you just
yeah,
think the worst everything, and it's
mhm,
really hard to discern what's what at that point. So
yeah.
you know um I feel it's important
That's,
to take care of your vessel to be able
yes,
to connect with your spirituality at that higher level, and access the higher mind and
yeah.
consciousness.
Yeah, whatever else is going on in your life, it's about balance. It's about trying to get enough sleep, trying to eat right, trying to eat more vegetables, trying to drink enough water. If you're deficient in certain vitamins, take those vitamins. Try this. Yeah, this is your vessel. This is what you need to look after. This is what your soul resides in and what it needs at the moment. So it's look at, and the more you look after it, the more connected you are as well to your higher self. And I mean, we were saying the other day, actually, that last new moon, was it the new moon or the full moon? I think it was the last new moon in Libra and Scorpio. Was horrendous. It was
was a doozy.
It was the last. Yeah, absolutely. It was a new moon, but it felt like it had the intensity of like a full moon times 20. And I know me and Robbie, we went through about 4 completely sleepless nights. Completely sleepless.
You either can't sleep or you're sleeping nonstop.
We'd be sleeping tablets. Yeah.
On like a vampire schedule.
It was absolutely crazy. But again, the Earth's energies, moon energies, everything's continually ramping up as we go through this ascension process. So we have to keep our bodies to try and keep up with it, to try and keep that vibe. As the Earth's vibration raises, we have to raise our own vibration as well. So we're going to get sick. It's we're not going to be able to keep up with things. I wanted to ask you, because I noticed this in one of your videos, you were seeing UFOs and you were seeing ETs.
Oh yeah, my whole life.
Quite a while, and then you stopped.
Yes.
And then you stopped, and then you started again.
Yeah, just out of nowhere.
How long was the gap in between?
I wish I knew the answer. I don't know, because and I've thought about this. I'm like, well, when did it stop and when did it start again? But I do remember nothing happening for years. And then one night I'm floating above my bed, like paralyzed, and I can hear movement in the room, and just like, I can't do anything. I'm scared, like out of my mind. And then next thing you know, I'm like not in the house, and just all this crazy stuff going on. And next thing you know, I'm back in bed.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know the difference between a dream and like an astral projection or like an abduction experience. You know, they're all quite different, although, you know, a lot of them happen, you know, while you're in bed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really know. It was several years of a gap for sure. And then I would have a bunch of them kind of back to back. And then there'd be another gap where there's nothing.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but as far as like sightings and everything, there seems like there's a gap with that too. Like I would see stuff, you know, maybe I'd see one thing and then I wouldn't see anything for a couple years, and then I'd see like 3 or 4, and you know, and I'm not gonna like sit and talk publicly about something that could have been, you know, a multi-dimensional craft or UFO, you know, because there's satellites and there's planes. You know, I'm not just gonna make myself look like a freak, you know, if it's something that could have been. You know, when you see something defying the laws of physics, and you know, something that looks like a meteorite or a shooting star, and then it like changes direction, you know that, you know, there's no,
you know it's not a satellite.
It didn't bounce off something, you know, in the sky. Okay.
Yeah.
Some highly advanced technology. And but yeah, it's weird how it comes in waves.
Yeah.
You know,
where it does. I have my quiet periods as well in between. It's funny now that I'm with my twin. We've both sort of the synchronicities have calmed right down, almost still having experiences, but almost to a normal extent. And I think it's simply, we still see the numbers extensively, but it's almost like, okay, well, now you're on the right path. Now you're in the right position. Now you're where you're meant to be. We
Mm-hmm.
don't need to, as your guides, we don't have to keep sending you all these synchronicities and all these
Right, right.
messages to try and get you on the right bloody path to where you're
Yeah, but
meant
then
to
you
be
wonder, like, am
in
I
the
doing
first
something
place.
wrong because I'm not seeing
Yeah,
all the
I'm
numbers?
not
And
getting them anymore. Yeah, no, it's perfectly normal. It's just that they don't need to guide you quite so much, and that's why you'll see them calm down.
yeah,
Plus, you need a break in between. You need to be able to absorb and integrate the signs and the coding that they actually send you as well. The transmissions that are sent to you, your body has to absorb that. Your consciousness, subconsciousness has to absorb that information as well. You can't constantly be in that state of
no.
sort of D-ness.
They got to give you time to integrate everything that you've taken in, you know, whether you call it
Yeah,
download or whatever. But
yeah.
yeah, you can't always just be receiving because we can't possibly.
Oh God, you wouldn't be able to function on a day-to-day basis if you were constantly in that receiving mode.
Right.
You just wouldn't. You're here to live on this earth. You're here to explore, learn, grow spiritually, mentally, physically, all of that. If we stayed up with those downloads, we wouldn't get much done in a day.
No, we
We
wouldn't.
would.
So tell me about your meeting your twin. I remember you telling me you had like there's so many terms: false twin, counterfeit twin. I joked earlier, a faux flame. You know, I had one of those.
Hopefully, yeah,
I know mine had a fake stunt double too. You know, and what was that like? You had synchronicities with the person you thought
yeah.
was your
I
twin, and
had all the signs, the synchronicities. I'd see him on the street. I'd see the back of him walking down the street. I knew it wasn't him, but it would look so much like him.
nice.
And I would and there were times when I think the way you can tell a false twin flame from a real twin flame looking back on that experience now, the false twin flame will give you the appearance that they are spiritually growing, will give you insights and little snippets and things that they say and do, and you sort of think, oh, wow, they are waking up, they are growing, it is my twin flame, everything's gonna, but then they'll switch off again, and then there comes a point where you completely overtake them. You're flying, you're spiritually growing, and you've left them behind, and they stop showing you those snippets of their evolving, and that the reason for a false twin flame is literally to propel you forward, to help you spiritually grow in order for you to meet your real twin flame.
Or trigger a catalyst,
Trigger the
a bunch
catalyst.
of events that
Yeah.
gets you on that path to your twin. Yeah, there's so
And
many like
people,
labels too, like false
no,
twin, twin flame. You know,
yeah, but you know what? I am so thankful. I am so thankful for that experience. I'm so thankful for him being a false twin flame. Because had
yeah,
that not happened, it wouldn't have led me to my real twin flame. Had
yeah,
that happened, I would not be on YouTube. I would not have had an awakening, etc., etc., etc. That was part of his contract when he came down, was to help me trigger that awakening within me in order to propel me forward and move forward. So I would never say, oh my God, that false twin flame, I hate that. You know what I mean? That no, all of
initially
that.
though, you're probably pissed at the universe, right? When things
Well,
started.
originally it's like, whoa, hang on a minute. Some people are lucky enough to go straight in with their true twin flame. Some people have to go through a process of being with the catalyst twin flame, because that's part of your contract. That's part of what you decided. In the case of me and Robbie, I was in the UK, he's in Canada. I was triggered into my awakening around the same time as as Robbie's wife died. That back in 2011, 2012. Now he had to go through certain things. He had to go through a grieving process. He had to learn things. He had to spiritually grow, all of those things. I was in a position back then where we were totally two different people, and under normal circumstances, we would never have met. I was drinking back then. I was doing a lot of things I shouldn't have been doing back then. I had an ego the size of God knows what, a house. I was not spiritually evolved. I was not all of those things. He'd been awake for years, Robbie. So things had to happen to me in a speeded up process to get me to a point of awakened state where there was a chance that we could be together. So everything happens in divine timing for a divine reason.
Perfectly.
We are led and guided on our path as to however we were decided to live this life. So.
And you guys did you like meet and then you just kind of fell into this blissful union?
No.
Or did you did the runner chaser dance happen?
No, we came into union almost in a blissful state once we'd got over the shock of, oh my God, you're my twin flame. Oh my God, how stupid are we? We've been best mates for like 3 or 4 years. So I met him because I'd started my YouTube channel. He'd started talking to me as a friend not that long after his wife had died, etc. He was still going through the process. He was trying to find meaning to things that had happened in his life and etc. Sent emails to each other because of YouTube and became friends that way. I don't know where I'm going with this, but then I was already going through the runner chaser, all the aspects and all the stages of the twin flame relationship with the false twin flame, simply because I hadn't chosen to go through those with my real twin flame. So I was being trained by the false twin flame, go through all the stages in order to come into sort of blissful union with the real twin flame.
Well, lucky you.
At the end of it.
Lucky Robbie.
We were in countries. Yeah, we were. Well, no. I still had to go through all those stages, not realizing that I was going through those stages with not the real twin flame. So I still went through everything. I still had to learn that process in order to be able to help other twin flames. I had to understand the process in order to help other people that were awakening. But also the way that we'd chosen to do this, we're in different countries. It just worked out that once we were together, we can't go through those stages. Yeah, I've already gone through them. Yeah. So,
and you can't move all the way across the world and then start going into chasing and running stuff.
And then start, going to run a chaser mode and separation and this, that, and the other. We can't do that. So luckily, I've already been through. And I needed that to be able to do my work on YouTube and to help others as well. I had to know what that process was, how it felt, why it was there, why we go into these different stages. So yeah, it's been quite a journey.
Quite a ride, huh? Yeah.
We're blood stressed now.
Yeah, it's quite a crazy experience. I won't lie. I mean, I had an experience with, I can say false twin, counterfeit twin, faux flame. I like to say ascension soulmate. That's kind of my word. I've gone with term, label, whatever you want to call it. After that, it going into like another stage of awakening, that was hell for me. Like I've had multiple awakenings over the years. But like you said, you were drinking before and stuff, and so was I, and that blocks out a lot, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
But I quit just over a year ago. The other day was like my little anniversary. But you know, I was just so pissed off at the universe.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why would this happen?
Well,
And you know, such a, you know, and such a narcissist scenario, and just
yeah.
lies and deceit and third party shit. And you know, so then I just got focused on my path, and then, you know, eventually like connected with who I would eventually find out to be mine, um, but had no clue. And then all of a sudden, like when I knew, we both knew, even tons of other people knew almost before
Yeah.
we did. You know, it's just such a
Yeah.
crazy energy, and
Yeah.
the not just the synchronicities though, but the like the chakras merging, and you know,
Yeah.
the telepathy, just it's off the charts. And then
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, but I think most twins, they likely will go into that whole runner chaser makeup breakup, you know, however you want to look at it. And you
Yeah.
know, because it's freaky. I mean, it will open up old wounds and scare the
Yeah.
daylights out of, you know, both of you.
And it's done for a reason. It's done deliberately for you to go within and heal them and to
Yeah,
work them out and to nurture yourself and love yourself and grow as an individual.
yeah, yeah.
It's all designed and done deliberately to do that.
I wonder about like free will though, you know, because they say not all twins will like come together like in this lifetime. And do you think that has to do with like free will? Because some, they'll just kind of like, they don't want to do the work, and they'll just, you know, jump into a karmic situation instead of, you know,
I
with their
think
divine partner. And some
no,
just, you know, they're
I
so
think
scared.
I think that this lifetime, from my belief system, from what I, which obviously not everyone's going to agree with, but this is our last lifetime. This is the last
Yeah,
time we have been reincarnated on Earth, because we have realized that we are star seeds, light workers, twin flames, etc. So
yep,
this, once we realize that and become consciously aware of the fact that we are a spirit in a human body, that's a game changer. That's you
mm-hmm,
breaking out the matrix. That's you breaking out of this computer game. This is our last lifetime on Earth. So if you meet your twin flame in this lifetime, I firmly believe that you are going to come together at some point during that lifetime. Otherwise, you would not have met them in the first place.
but
And
you
there
got those
are,
ones that are like married to somebody and stuff, and that's got to be
oh God, yeah.
hell,
And it's
you
hell
know,
on Earth.
because then
But we
you're
have
like,
to remember,
somebody gets
yeah,
hurt, or they
yeah,
just they stay with the husband or wife, and then they can't stop thinking about this other person. Then they can't even totally give themselves to their husband or wife. And that's going to be like, I'm glad I'm not married, and I'm
yeah.
glad
There's
my
really
twin
difficult
isn't.
situations I've come across. Yeah,
But I just can't
yeah,
imagine that's going to suck, especially with kids involved and everything. It's,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
but I, from what I understand, and I,
Yeah,
you know, I know it in my own heart, in my situation, like twins are meant to, it's like they have a mission to fulfill
yeah,
together, and they're like a very powerful force
yeah.
um,
They are.
together.
They are. And that mission can be, oh God, all sorts of amazingly wonderful things, like helping starving children in Africa, or
Yeah.
um, things like that. But it could also be that just the two of you being together raises the vibration and helps awaken those around you,
Yeah.
helps for awakenings in those around you, helps others to be able to look at your relationship and be able to love more, open their heart chakra more,
Hmm.
just slowly change the way that they live as
Yeah.
well. So it
It's like
doesn't have to
inspiring in a way.
be Superman hero. We're going to change the world. You are all changing the world in your own way,
Yeah.
just by all these little lights, all these little twin flames dotted around the world and shining their light. You are having an effect on the atmosphere, the people, things around you. Whether you can see that or not, there is a spark that's happening within people around you. So
like activations, as
yes,
they call them. Yeah. I noticed that too when I first realized what was going on, and just practically everybody I was coming in contact with, and also, my twin, people she was going into contact with, just crazy stuff happening, like abilities waking up, and or they would meet their divine counterpart, or they would reconnect with theirs. And and I get so many emails too, like from people like, oh my God, since I talked to you, this happened
yeah,
and this happened.
that, yeah.
And they said they're like vibrating when talking to me. I'm like, well, I'm just Steve from
Yeah.
Maine, I'm not doing
And
anything.
but most likely a lot of those people that have been attracted to you are from your soul group. If you think about
Yeah.
how big a soul group is, as it sort of spreads out across the universe, it gets bigger and bigger. They're a part of that. There's a feeling there that helps. And I can't remember what I was going to say then.
It's really cool though. It's almost like it hit me hard one day when I was thinking about, this is recent, a couple months ago probably. Like that you worked with or was with somebody in a past life, or there's just some kind of involvement, because then there's that familiarity.
Yeah,
And it's almost like it is kind of a game, a video game or something. This is like fun. Okay, let's see
oh
how we
God,
can reconnect in this life. And and then it
very,
hits.
very much so.
It's hard to explain.
Yeah,
I
it
know
does
what I
feel like,
mean right now, but I'm not sure if others will know what
yeah.
I'm
I know
fucking
what you
talking
mean
about.
as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. But yeah, we choose to be here, and this free will. I think we do have free will up to a certain extent, but at the same time, we are meant to go down the path that we are going down. And I think we can veer off it a little bit. We can waste time. We can pretend we're going to go down a different path, but we're always going to be brought right back
Yeah,
through circumstances, through to the path that we're meant to be on.
I agree.
So we will to a certain extent, I think, but
You keep
your
having
soul is a
tower
human body.
moments if you don't
Yeah.
listen. Yeah.
Yes.
As they
Yeah.
say, not everybody knows what a tower moment is. Tarot speak.
Well, the tower is literally man-made structures, things that you built up that you thought were good, just collapsing around you because it's not serving you anymore. It's not good for you. And if you don't move it, if you don't move away from things, if you don't change things in your life, literally the universe will come in and say, right, that's enough, time out. This is not part of your path.
It's like
And
building a house on quicksand.
yes.
And if you're trying to do that, the universe is going to step in and be like, hey, let's do this right this time.
Yeah, you need good, solid foundations to build that house so it doesn't fall down.
Mm-hmm. And it's good to, I think it's important to, when you're supposed to be doing something, it's important to do it. And I think a lot of us can, procrastinate or let life get in the way, or, but
and I think that's our free will to do that to an extent.
Yeah.
But after a while, the universe will step in and say, right, do what you're supposed to be doing.
I saw a funny meme. I just thought about this. It was something like, I never make the same mistake twice. I make it 5, 6, 7 times just to be sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we all tend to do that, don't we?
Oh yeah, I'm notorious for that. But like once I have my mind on something, I don't like wasting time. Even though I waste a lot of time and procrastinate, at times. But like, when there's an inner knowing, just like, okay, well, why wait? And that's why I like jumped into the work that I'm doing too. I mean, it was scary as hell.
God.
I mean, I'm like, how am I going to make money reading cards? And like, how do I know I'm going to have enough people? And, and I had a choice. I could look for and line up more carpentry work, but I just knew in my heart, like, all these numbers repeating, all this synchronicity, that synchronicity, like, I know the universe is taking care of me right now.
Oh, the universe has completely got your back.
Yep.
And if you notice that as soon as you start doing what you're supposed to be doing, the worries about, oh my God, have I got enough money? Have I got enough readings coming through? I need to do this, that, and the other. Things and circumstances happen that provide for you, that just step in and it's there for you, and you needn't have worried.
It's like serendipity.
Yeah.
Yep. It's crazy. And especially, go ahead.
I was going to say, when I first woke up, one of the real woo moments that I had, one of the crazy moments, I was sat crying one night, crying my little heart out, end of the world, still drinking, everything's gone, lost my business, everything's gone bad. I had my phone was next to me on the bed, switched off. The phone was switched off. As I looked down at the phone, it lit up. The words, "The universe will never give you more than you can handle," actually appeared on the screen of my phone.
Wow.
And my phone was off. And I stared at it, and I stared at it. And then those words were replaced by an eye, by this beautiful, beautiful big blue, I think it was a left eye, big, beautiful eye, which I never understood at the time. And honestly, I've never been so scared. I kept sitting there with this phone, and this eye wouldn't go away once it had replaced the words. And I kept thinking, right, I'm going to close my eyes, I'm going to count to 10. When I open it, that phone's off and everything's gone away, and it's all been a bad dream. And I kept doing that, and I kept opening my eyes. This bloody eye was still there, and it stayed on my phone all night.
Wow.
It was an indication, it was a message to me that my third eye, that I was starting to awaken, that my third eye was awakening.
I thought something, you're going there with it.
Yeah. I never knew that at the time. I just was, oh my freaking God, my phone's off. Why the hell?
Oh yeah, I'd be a little scared.
You guys can use technology, they can do this. They are so much cleverer than we think they can be.
Oh yeah, I know. It's kind of scary with that too. You know, you order something on Amazon and then you see it in your news feed on Facebook. It's like, I almost don't want to have a phone anymore sometimes, you know?
Yeah, funny that I actually, well, after that experience and some other stuff that I won't go into because I was going through Night of the Dark Soul, so I had some really freaky stuff happen. I actually stopped using a phone. I went back to an old Nokia flip phone thing that didn't have the internet. It didn't have...
Not a smartphone.
Just made phone calls. That's all it needed to do.
Yeah.
I went back to that for about 3 years. Was like, no, I'm not having none of that AI stuff. No, not happening. So it's only recently I've gone back to a normal phone. But,
the smartphone's a normal phone now.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, that's the new normal.
I don't care. Let them spy on me all they want.
Yeah.
I want my internet.
I'll never have that experience again because I don't need to be shown in such an extreme way anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really an extreme way of them reaching out to me and saying, freaking wake up. There's more to this life. There's so much more than you know. So yeah, they don't need to be that extreme with me anymore. I can just talk to them now. So
yeah, exactly.
So, and you're doing amazing. Your YouTube channel, you're doing amazing with it. I'm following along with you, and I'm watching the new videos that you bring out and everything. And
thank you.
I
haven't got out as much as I thought I would so far because I got hammered with readings after my first video got put up, and I'm still trying to get through them. And I feel guilty if I am working on the channel. You know what I mean? It's just like, got to get these readings out. But sometimes I have to take a break because, I mean, you do this for a living. It takes a lot of energy.
It does. It takes a lot of energy. Doing a monthly reading or a mid-monthly on YouTube does not take that much energy. But when you're actually doing a personal reading for somebody, you're really tuning into that person. You're bringing that information through you for their highest good, for the information that they need, and you're a vessel. But it can leave you wiped out afterwards as well. So you have to learn to just go with the flow. If you're late with a reading, people don't mind. They understand this is not a normal job where you can
No, it's
go
not.
out to work and just churn out stuff. The
No.
energy has to be right.
They think you're
You
just
have to be in the
shuffling
right
cards and reading
yeah.
traditional meanings you memorize somewhere. And it's like, no, not with a good reader.
No, it's,
No.
I've seen some readers and they just seem to churn out these reading after reading after reading. And I think, how on earth are you doing that? Because
And they say the same thing for each card all the time, too. It's a very linear
way of looking at it as well. So it's almost like verbatim. They've learned it by the book. They're not expanding on that at all. So people, if they order a reading, they'll have patience with you. They know that it comes.
Oh, I've noticed that, and I think they come out like when I finally like do somebody's reading,
just at the right time.
Yeah, exactly. I've had so many letters come in like, "Oh my God, you're amazing! This is so cool and perfect timing." Blah blah blah, and I'm just like, and it makes me like, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this, and it's
still shocked when I get feedback as well. It's still. I love getting feedback from subscribers and from people that order readings from me, and they'll come back to me and go, "I can't believe you said this in the reading because that's just happened," or this and this, and I go, wow, because it's not us personally giving that information. It's their guides and angels bringing that information through. It's so I love that sort of feedback. I absolutely love it.
There's some readings I hate doing though. Like the ones I love are when people are just like open. It's like, what do I need to know for my ascension? And I'm like, okay, perfect. And then I get one like, who's my twin flame? When's he coming back? And I don't know.
You can never, ever tell somebody who their twin flame is. Only they know within themselves, because the universe will be screaming at them that person's the twin, or they need to be with that person at the moment. It's not something that somebody else can tell them.
Or they're hanging on to that
will be telling
one.
Them.
They're hanging on to that false twin that's never coming back. They think it's their twin. And I mean, I got readings when I thought somebody was my twin. In fact, my real twin gave me a reading and gave insight on the person that I thought was the one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's so crazy. But I mean, people are so stuck and consumed by it,
I used to do readings for Robbie. And I'd do the ones I did before I came out. You're going to meet someone. It's all going to go perfectly. So never for a minute did we think we were talking about me and him. I was like, that's just so sneaky.
I know, right?
So sneaky. Why did you not just come out and say it?
Surprise!
So
yeah.
Surprise! Well, thanks for that.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a shocker to figure, my situation out. I was like, what? Yeah. Oh my God, no way.
Really?
Just couldn't sleep for days, but would, wake up, start texting and just energize, like off 1 hour of sleep, didn't care.
Yeah.
Like, woohoo.
Yeah.
And it's weird how the universe works though.
Oh, so we've stepped through 1111. It's crazy the way the universe works, and it's so divinely beautiful, so beautiful.
It is, even when it seems like shit.
Yeah, there is a reason for it. There is a really good reason for it, which somewhere down the line, however far that is, you will always realize and get that answer as to why that happened.
It's like you might get it a couple of days,
so you might get 5 years. Yeah.
Yep.
Always.
So what do you see yourself doing in the future? Or, the next, how are you going to evolve your channel? What kind of going to do any long distance Reiki or anything like that? I know you do it locally.
Sorry, say that again. I do what locally?
like Reiki? Don't you do
Yeah,
Reiki?
I do Reiki sessions from the new little office. Here, one-to-one readings, healings, clearings, all of that sort of thing, which I can't do the Reiki online, but I can do the rest of it online. I'm just going to keep going the way I have been going with
It's
my
going
YouTube.
well and smooth, and yep,
Yeah, I love
good.
it. It's going at the pace that I want it to go at. You know, I have an abundance of readings through and subscribers and helping others. So it's all going in the direction that I want it to go in. I'm only just sort of got here with my twin, so there's a lot of evolving that's going on between us, as we learn how to sort of merge. We're merging, we're doing the twin flame merge, so we're learning about that. I still think there are going to be a lot of changes over the next 2 or 3 years. I think we have come together, and a lot of other twin flames are coming together in divine timing, in preparation for something big that's going to happen around 2021, end of 2020 into 2021. I don't know what that is, but I know that there is something there, and I think a lot of twin flames are coming together in divine timing for things like that, and for their own mission, and just, yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of stuff energetically. There's a lot of expanded awareness and quickening. It's like there's a quickening that's going on in the universe, and we're all going to be exactly where we need to be, who we're meant to be with, in the right place at the right time, whenever, whatever happens.
Mm-hmm. Got any advice for starseeds, light workers, twin flames, regular people?
Regular people, wake up. Wake up, regular.
Yeah, wake up.
Bloody well, wake up.
Yeah.
Meditate. Go within yourself. Meditate is one of the most important things you could practice, for the most of us to be in touch with you, with your higher selves, with source, is to switch off from everything and just stop worrying. Stop worrying about what's going on in the world. Stop worrying about where you need to. Everything's going to come together the way it needs to come together. Just love and nurture yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Have trust in yourself and love yourself, no matter what anybody else says or does around you. It's stay faithful to yourself. And remember that the believing is seeing, not seeing is believing. Believing is seeing, and things will come through.
I hope everybody understands and takes that to heart. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope
Well,
so.
awesome.
I hope so.
So, well, I think that's all I have to ask you. I know we could talk all day and night about everything.
Yeah,
Anything.
but
Anything else for me? Any questions or concerns?
no concerns. You just keep on going. You just keep on going the way that you've been going. You're doing great. You're doing absolutely great.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna have some cool stuff coming soon, and still trying to get through a few more readings. And I think I'm gonna do a video about chakras here next, which is gonna be cool. I've learned a lot about those, and still a lot to learn. But I think I've got a couple little secrets that I just kind of came to me one day, like, because people, they'll meditate and they're trying to do different things to activate or block them. Well, I think I got a really good thing in mind that can help speed things up.
Cool. Yeah, I've done a lot of things on the chakras in the past on my channel. Some of the things that I'm doing in the future, I want to get more into maybe the biology of how this works and why meditation works, etc., and the benefits of what it does to your body and the healing aspects involved and things like that. I'm going to go into a little bit more over time. But yeah, I've got a few little nuggets of very interesting information that I'll be bringing out, and obviously keep up with the energies, the full moon energies, ascension, what's going on there. But again, don't pay 100% attention to ascension. It's happening at a natural process, as a natural evolutionary process at different rates within all of us. So don't worry, it's happening anyway.
Yeah, true. And you mentioned something that kind of triggered a thought too, like with the full moons and the, you know, planetary alignments. I mean, they obviously affect energies and sometimes behaviors, but they don't have full control. You know what I mean? It's like they affect us, but they don't have complete control over us. Kind of like this Venus stuff. It's like, you know, if an ex comes back, it doesn't mean you like hop in bed with them, or, you know, you don't need to stay in bed all day because you're tired. You just have to give extra energy to get yourself going. And that's what I've been doing through this Venus retrograde. I mean, I might be wide awake.
It's more about, understanding what that particular full moon or new moon energy is likely, how that is likely to have an effect on you, so that you can sort of look at that situation then and go, okay, well, maybe I'm feeling like this because of this energy that's coming through. Is that why I'm dealing with an ex, or is that why I'm feeling angry at the moment, or feeling depressed, or I'm not getting much sleep? And as soon as you have more understanding of something, you can deal with it better. That's it. You know how to deal with it, instead of walking around not knowing why you're angry, not knowing why this is being triggered, not knowing why suddenly you're having a tower moment or whatever.
What about like decisions though? I know some people, they won't make a decision and do something until this alignment happens, and it's like, you know.
The only time I would say do not make a firm decision is during Mercury retrograde, because that does change the way you think an awful lot. And it's more in material ways. Obviously, with Mercury retrograde, we have electronic problems, we have things breaking down around us, things like that. But you also, because it's a retrograde, you're going to have people come back from the past. So somebody may come back from the past during Mercury retrograde, but then you have to understand they're only coming back because of Mercury retrograde. And it's likely that by the time we are out of the energies of Mercury retrograde, that person will have disappeared again. And that person may only have showed up to teach you a lesson, or to remind you of something.
Or to test you, you know, with temptation or whatever.
Or to test you.
I'm lucky. Nobody's showed back up yet. I'm like, I think they know better. Yeah. Well, when does this retrograde end?
If you understand, it's retrograde. Yeah. So we are going into another Mercury retrograde very soon, actually, aren't we?
Perfect.
I need to actually check on the dates of that, but I know. Yeah,
but
we
I
have 2 or 3 a year.
Sometimes people use it as a crutch. You know? I think people blame the retrogrades,
like, to put off decision. Yeah, I'll blame it on electrical faults and things like that, but I wouldn't make any major, unless you've already put something into motion before Mercury retrograde starts. Then carry on with it, because you've already done it before. Don't do something new during Mercury retrograde, because likely as soon as the energies change afterwards, your mind's going to change, your thought process is going to change, and you go, damn, why did I do that? I didn't mean to.
I just don't like to get too stuck into letting it control us or justify things because of the planetary life.
I
mean, it's just affecting energies.
As long as you understand them, there's always going to be Venus in retrograde, Mercury retrograde, this, that, and the other. There's always something going on planetary. Just have a basic understanding of what's going on. so that you sort of understand what's going on with your mood, or what can happen with your mood. November the 17th to December the 6th is the next one. So, yay!
Can't wait.
That's the next one. Get ready.
Yeah, I think people put,
yeah,
I don't know, they get too obsessive about it, you know. They just blame things on the retrogrades, or this is, you know, it's like, come on, get a grip. You have free will. It's just maybe it's going to require more effort.
Done this yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I noticed I was a lot more tired.
Yeah.
You mentioned you guys or wide awake.
Yeah, you're either wide awake or you're falling asleep, or depending on how that energy is affecting you. And I'm saying have a better understanding of it. But I mean, me and Robbie, during that last new moon, we had a full understanding of what's going on, but it still did not allow us to sleep when we needed to. So although we understood it, we couldn't actually change the fact that we couldn't sleep. But it stopped us arguing with each other. It stopped us trying to wonder what else was going on. We had an understanding of why it was happening, which was half the battle. Half the battle. Not, oh my God, have I said something wrong and that's why you can't sleep? Are you worried about something? Has something happened? You know what I mean? We just had that basic understanding of, okay, well, we can't sleep. It's because of this new moon energy, and hopefully things will settle down afterwards, but we weren't blaming each other or blaming ourselves for things that were out of our control.
It's good to have that self-awareness, no matter what the planetary alignment is or the moon cycle. It doesn't matter. You gotta take responsibility for yourself.
What's going on? Deal with it.
You know, and if you're tired, then rest. You know, if you're wide awake, well,
if you're tired, rest. It does not excuse to. It doesn't give you an excuse to have a go at somebody else or to get angry at somebody else. If you know that a certain energy could make you angry, then it's your job to, as a conscious being, and to be responsible for your own moods, you know, to step away or deal with that anger when it comes up. So,
and don't stop your productivity because of you know, whatever planetary element.
Don't stay in your room all day.
But I don't want to discredit it altogether, because there's something to be said about the astrology and decisions, and
definitely,
you know,
absolutely.
Just like chakras, you know, they're like energy centers. There's also a very physical aspect to them too, and that's what I'm gonna talk about on that video. So that'll be good. I look forward to that. It's a long time since I did any chakra videos. I've got a playlist, I think, up on my channel though, that people can watch. But nice.
So,
well, cool.
Woo, is it time for dinner?
I think so. But thank you for taking the time to have a chin wag with me, Danny.
No problem, and stay in touch, and let's swap stories and keep in touch in that. No, it's brilliant. Really, really nice to get to have a chat with you for a while.
Cool. And I hope everybody enjoys this, and you know, check out her channel. It's Husky Light. That's the name of the channel, and she's a very good tarot reader. Book with her. She'll help you out.
And there's a lot of other videos, interviews, chakra videos, ascension, all sorts of videos up on there if you want to check them out. That'd be great. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's it for now, guys, and we'll see you next time with the next